This Hangout on Air is live. I am Rosie O'Kelly. This is the Rosie O'Kelly channel. It is Wednesday, October 11th, 2017. And of course, I'm here with my partner, Missy Jen, here this evening. Go ahead and just turn off this side chat and welcome all of you. I know it's been something that Jen and I have wanted to do for a while, and to have a hangout and update you guys, but because hi Roxana, because of what's going on, it's we're just kind of doing things on the fly, keeping one eye on the skies and the other eye on the rancho, and trying to do some video and some other things. And well, it's going to be, tonight's probably a good night. We're not going to get a lot of sleep because this is probably our biggest threat. More sirens. So, hello, Mr. Grinch. Nice to see you.
Hello, Mr. Grinch.
And that's one of the problems I've had is I've told Jen I am constantly hearing in my head sirens just all the time, whether I'm here. I always have to ask Jen now, is that a siren? And she'll say no. And I'm hearing, I don't know whether it's stress or something. I'm hearing constantly sirens all the time. They're either coming from behind or left to right or front to back. It's
well,
crazy.
They are coming. They're constantly coming by.
Yeah, so it's tough.
Hello, Hidden.
Yeah, hi, Hidden.
We love you too.
Yeah, hi, Rosie. So yeah, it must be. Yeah, it's been hard to sleep. Yeah. Yeah, so far so good. I don't think
we haven't slept in
days. It's been very fitful. Hi, Drew. Nice to see you.
Drew.
We're packed and ready to go, but I'm not going to leave unless our zone gets called up for evacuation, which there's no doubt that we'll know about it. As I've said repeatedly, and it'll be a good chance. Hi, Keith. It'll be a good chance to cover some of this ground. Is that yesterday I did a video. We have a 24-hour reprieve, which we did because instead of the winds coming from the northeast and down and blowing the fire from the north and northeast, the last 24 hours, the wind changed direction and it blew it in from the west backwards. So the fire went back on itself for a period of time. Well, that's reversing now. And over the next 24 hours, we have an opposite situation. We have the same thing that happened on Sunday night, except this time we have a lot of hot spots around the county from fires and burning, smoldering things that could potentially erupt when these winds come up. Because although we had 70-mile-an-hour winds on Sunday into Monday, we're now hoping it's going to be limited, to 35 to 40 miles an hour on tomorrow.
Hello, Luke.
Yeah, hi, Luke. Yeah, there's Luke says, I'm down in Walnut Creek and the smoke is bad down here. Yeah. Now, Janet's in a tough situation too. They've been packing all day and getting ready to move out. Her subdivision, she's one subdivision from getting an evacuation order to leave Fairfield. So this is not just a Santa Rosa event. This is really a wall of fire to the east. It runs about 100 miles from just in the tip of San Francisco Bay northward up to Mendocino County.
It's so 4 counties.
Yeah, it's a lot of counties. Where you were, the fire was still burning. I've seen fire burning every day, every place I've gone. There's been burning. When Missy, Jen, and I, if you watch the, probably can't see it because I didn't have the telephoto, but coming down the highway towards the end of today's video, we could see clearly along the hills for mile after mile the line of fire and smoke all along the ridge lines thing. So thank you, Gerald. Thank you, Corey. Corey's been very kind. Thank you. I appreciate it. She's left a lot of nice supportive messages.
Yes. Thank you, Corey.
And that's been wonderful. And this is the main thing that Jen and I want to. Just a couple of things we want to stress. Again, thank you. I guess the fire is about right now probably 2 miles from the house at this point in time. It's to the north of us, it's to the west of us, and it's to the southwest of us. So we're kind of in this sort of fishhook here. And I want to stress that how thankful we are to everybody. We've had offers of financial help if we needed help leaving. And although I joke a lot about finances and 1%, nobody really knows our financial situation and stuff. But it was nice of you guys to think about that, and we're very appreciative of that. So we're not hurting for anything. We're not wanting for anything, and that's the important thing, that we're actually in a position where we're trying to look for ways to help in the community and stuff.
Right.
So, Luke says, Cal Fire maps online shows you just how bad it is. Yeah. How close was the fire to your home? About 2 miles. It happens. Yeah, we have several evacuation areas. We've got wonderful modern high schools within 1 mile of us. The L.C. Allen High School. It does ultra modern construction of real stone and not this nonsense I've seen these houses made of. So we have good places to evacuate, and places that are pretty clear of vegetation. You know, high schools for the most part are surrounded by grass and things like that, but it's very dry here, so there's very little grass that gets watered. So, yeah, we've seen a lot of thank you, Gerald. So sorry you're missing Jen on the situation. Yeah, we're appreciative of that. Just wanted to let you know we're safe. So what happened today? You know, are you doing things for drama? No, we're doing things to be cautious, because like I said, yesterday morning things looked okay, and then they've been revising the forecast upward of winds, upward. And all it needs is that wind to shift from the east again coming down, and that's going to blow that fire right into the heart of the city, and that's where we are. If you look on a map of Santa Rosa, you'll see Highway 101 cuts it in half from north to south, and Highway 12 cuts it in half from east to west. And we are right at the cross right there of those. We are right smack center city.
Ryan, I gotta tell you right now, I cannot smile. We are both under stress now for so many days. Haven't slept for several nights and have cried for day in, day out. Have seen so much misery. And
appreciate it. James says, "Stay safe." So many affected. You're actually in a more sort of risky situation than we are right now, James, up in the northern half of the county.
Yeah, James, you got to be careful too. You got some.
Yeah, JK.
Fires.
JK had to evacuate. Yeah.
And you got some fires up there too in that area.
We've looked at the Jinxie. Hi,
Bye,
baby
James.
doll.
Love you.
You know, we've.
I love you, Hayden, and I really appreciate. We appreciate each and every one of you, your love and your support.
Yeah, it's good. So
and thank you, Luke, for keeping us in your prayers.
Yeah. So if right now we woke up this morning and there's a huge development on the west end of or the eastern end of Santa Rosa. It's called Oakmont, and it's really populated by a lot of retired city employees, and it's a rather wealthy area. It's out in the wine country valley, out in the valley of the moon. Hi, Vicky. And that's fire was licking right there this morning. That's where we go through. We drive through to go to the Boston Janets every time we go out of Highway 12 down that way. So you know, it's all dry out through there, and I'm very concerned. And then they've started to evacuate the Bennett Valley area too. So we're talking about areas now that are getting real close to us, Bennett Valley and Highway 12. So yeah, Missy Jan will get her rest. I've definitely been sending thoughts. Yeah, I haven't messaged. Yeah, I know that, Jinx, and I appreciate that. You know, I love the honey, I've gotten all the messages from everybody, from Corey, from Joe. Stellar has been awesome. There's just so many people to thank. We gave up on comments. I mean, I've got videos that are clocking along. A lot of people are watching because it's probably the most documented daily flow of on the ground sort of. You know, some people have put up drones. Of course, you've had the news crews, but you know, we've been the ones to hike in with the aftermath and to take the big hikes up the hills, up the 2-mile hikes up mountains to try to bring all that good. What do they mean? Well, when they say a fire's licking at something, they mean like the flame is just starting to touch the side of a building or something, like Gerald says. Doesn't the state of California have the helicopters flying over, putting his stuff on the fires to put them out?
They actually have now 8 planes flying north and the north fire of us. 8 solid wing planes.
Thanks, Smooth.
And 1 helicopter. We're flying today, spraying along that ridge lines, so to prevent it from coming back south over the hill here. So I've been following on that. And also the Air Force has been from McMillan Air Base. They've been flying missions, spraying. They flew yesterday 40 missions from there out, I think, in Napa County on that big fire there. And that's to answer that question. And then Roxana said something about my treatment. My treatment is coming up on next week, Wednesday. So
even if the house or the rancho burns down, we're still going to be in San Francisco for that treatment on Wednesday. Let's get to some of these issues up. Gerald, the issue is, you know, the thing that makes, if you look at a map called CAL FIRE map, you'll see that we're one fire of perhaps 100 up and down the state of California. So when you sit at CAL FIRE headquarters, you've got to apportion all those resources for, you know, they got fires in Anaheim down near Disneyland. They got fires up above where James is, up in Willits in Mendocino County. And those people have lost their AT&T fiber line to the city. There's no power. There's no nothing up there. I mean, it's devastation. So the thing that makes Santa Rosa unusual is that it's an extremely heavily, densely populated city that took a hit right in the heart of it. So they're very fearful of a replay of that that takes out the center core. And an older area like ours, the Roseland area here, which is a lot of older structures, a lot of big trees, and a lot of. So this is why they have put a disproportional amount of more resources into this area because of the heavy population. They've decided to let other things just burn, you know, and just go. So. Now Hidden says what's causing all the fires. What you have to understand is we don't have like you do in the rest of the country. You'll have thunderstorms coming in the afternoon. We don't have thunderstorms. Okay, we don't have rain showers coming. When the end of March comes around, April 1st, it's like somebody throws a switch, and you can almost guarantee that there will not be one. Every day will be sunny until probably December or January. It's very rare to have a day of rain anywhere in that period. So you can imagine how dry things get in that time. And it's just like you get one of these wind changes from the north, and all of a sudden the humidity goes down to what, 8 or 9%, and you can just feel the electricity in the air, and that fire just leaps from place. If you saw my first video on what was that, Jen? Monday morning, when the city was really engulfed on the side.
Actually, when we came home from Lake Tahoe on Sunday, we encountered strong winds. Remember those winds? In the Central Valley?
Yeah, we had a lot of, are the ham operators, I think some of them are working up valley in a place called Willits.
So it was a really,
thank you, Hayden.
really extremely windy on that Sunday and then Sunday night. And they said 80 up to 84 miles an hour wind. And that was just a combination between extreme dryness, that excessive wind. Poor George. And then maybe somewhere a spark flew. Oh, George. George just passed one way.
Right my way. Yeah, it's
just a spark flies somewhere, and then it's there, and it just one fire can then turn into two fires. I mean, it just.
Thank you, Gerald says. I hope it's yeah. I think there's only probably a 10 or 15% chance that we'll have to go, but we're ready. You know, when that wind kicks up, that wind on Sunday to Monday was moving that fire 1 football field in length every 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. That fire, those areas I covered from the high ground in Fountain Grove up the hills out today to the very eastern end of Santa Rosa is probably an area of about 4 miles that fire swept across, and probably what, Missy Jen, less than an hour it just torched across Highway 101 and leaped over.
I mean, people were notified by, and I just seen that today again from somebody that was living up there in the Fountain Grove. Law enforcement knocked on their door, said, grab your keys, leave now. Yeah. They didn't have time to pack anything except to just take their keys, get in the car and leave, because the fire was going to be there within seconds. Yeah. They didn't even have time to take a toothbrush.
The smoke smells bad even in my home. How about you guys? The smoke has actually reversed.
The entire house was inside here. I guess we're not even smelling the smoke inside the house anymore, because the house has been smelling inside. Our clothes are probably smelling like smoke.
Thanks, Maxine. We're doing our level best. I couldn't even enjoy a Maxine hangout today. Anyway, Graham says it's impossible to know the situation unless you're in it. Yeah, because you'll see our morning thing tomorrow that we're doing is talks about, you know, the conspiracy theorists are starting to come out of the woodwork, and why does this no fire should be hot enough to melt a guardrail and make it into a piece of aluminum. Well, if you've ever taken hot metal shop like I did in high school, and you're doing forging, when you do forging and that's using a hammer and heated metal to shape objects, guess what?
George, you need to go, dude. You got problems.
I'd rather smell the smoke. That's going to be on the bed tonight. I don't know about a blowtorch, but you have something that's called a bellows. You have a forced air ram air system that takes air and rams it into that crucible, and that really fires that temperature up. Well, that's exactly what that fire did. I mean, it's, you know, the people, the hotels, the mobile home park, they had no chance. That was literally like a blowtorch just coming in on them. And the fire didn't get inside of the mobile homes. The fire superheated the outside, and the homes just exploded, and they just blew out all the walls and all that. So yeah, aluminum melts pretty easily.
Well, it is. I think it's just not the time for conspiracy theories now. You know, I think it's just when we all need to focus on the catastrophe is still going on. We still have a huge what's the word?
Well, we're in the eye of the hurricane.
We're having a huge event going on of epic proportions, terrible tragedy going on, and we need to focus on helping people. We need to focus on what can be done to fix this, to stop the fires. And
I mean, I have no idea how many people are dead. I mean, there's 100 people still unaccounted for in the city that there's already 25 dead. So
the last was like 26 between here and Napa County combined, 26 dead. So
yeah, Luke says that you wear a mask.
And in total, there were like 100 in Sonoma County, 100 people missing, and the trailer park that we went to that looked like the Nagasaki, Hiroshima, even though they say that nobody died, apparently they're not sure.
You're not going to know. It's, you know, you just, where's grandma, or what happened to pops? And, you know, I saw people wandering around.
Everything went so fast.
You know, it's tragic when you see elderly people wandering around and just mumbling, and you know, they got no idea where they're walking. We've seen a lot of people that are just mumbling, walking down the street with, you know, burnt, like smoke, burnt clothes and stuff hanging on them, and you know that they just came out of those kind of places. And it's just,
yeah, it's just so
yeah, they're in shock. That's exactly right, Jinx. They're just they're in shock, and we've seen a lot of people in shock. Remember, I've gone into the areas where, you know, California is lazy, right? If you can't drive in, nobody really cares about, you know, it didn't happen unless you can drive into it. So being willing to, you know, and Missy Jen could go or not go as she chose. So she wanted to go along, and she had her mask with her. But we went into areas, crossed police lines, because we were on foot. We were perceived that we weren't going to loot, although there's nothing to take out of any of these. There's not anything.
Well, we actually saw today 2 people that tried to go into that one park, and they had the intention to actually look for valuables.
And I've had a lot of people that have, you know, obviously a lot of people are watching the videos because it's really the only place that's on the ground that's mobile is my camera. You'll see ABC, NBC. I mean, there's news crews from Australia and Southern Star News and Europe, all Europeans, and Japan and China and Al Jazeera. Everywhere I go, there's reporters everywhere, but they're in fixed location. But it's been gratifying to have people say, "Hey, thanks for you took the video camera up there, and I was able to see that yes, my house is still standing, or no, my house is not.
Right.
Cars are not being allowed into these areas. Even today, the worst hit area of all, the Coffee Park, which if you watch my video tonight and you see the aerial view of it, I mean, it's 8 square blocks of just, looks like it was a nuclear, it looked like a bomb was dropped on it. There's nothing in there, and the cops aren't letting anybody into that. Nobody. You can't even walk into that area. There's cops from Pinolas, from Walnut Creek, from San Francisco, from San Mateo.
Gerald, the fires are going on north
and east of us.
and east.
Yeah, guy caught looting and.
I'm on it.
Yeah, that's it. Hi, Coop. Nice to see you. Hi, I'm on it. Nice to see you. Yeah, if we can get through tonight, I think we got it made the next 12 hours. I think we'll be okay.
Right, they're now, actually somebody said something about they thought the planes couldn't fly because of the smoke. They couldn't fly on Tuesday because the smoke was too thick. And then today we had a really clear sky, and they were actually able to fly today all day. And if we are lucky, they will be able to fly through the night, maybe. I don't know if they can fly at night, but tomorrow they can hopefully fly. And if they can do that, they might be able to get a grip on averting that from coming down south. And the Tubbs fire.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to put this on the. I'm not very good at this, so bear with me if you don't mind. I'm gonna close a couple other windows here that are. Let me just close a couple windows here. And I'm trying, just bear with me a minute. I'm going to try to bring this other up. So people ask about the fires. Let me see if I can do a screen share here. I don't know. Okay, there we go. So I don't know if you guys can see that or not on the screen. And if you can see that, yeah, there we go. Yeah. There it is, right on the screen. I guess you'll be able to see our pointer. You can see Santa Rosa right in this area, and you can see all around here. Anywhere you see the circles, and this was Wednesday. This was as of 8 a.m. this morning. This is our area, and this is the one that's really problematic. The one that's called the Tubbs Fire. And I think now it's up to 30,000 acres. You can see that that's on the northeast side of Santa Rosa here. And then you have what's called the Nuns Fire, which is a little bit southeast of that. And then additional fires down here on these ridge lines. And then they have a huge fire over near where Janet lives over there. And also spare a thought for Janet, because she's packed up and ready to evacuate. She's one development away, one subdivision away from getting the word to evacuate the area. But the big fear is this Tubbs Fire and this Nuns Fire, all these merged together into one superstorm. And now the wind is going to be coming from the northeast now, and it's going to try to merge these fires together. So there's the concern. So if Hidden was asking if are there active fires around, there's zero containment on this Tubbs Fire. There's zero. There's been no containment whatsoever on that. So just be aware of that. So I hope that worked okay. That sharing. Okay. All right. They were calling people from all over Canada. Yeah. Did you have the news on just again? Yeah, we're all set here. We got things. So that's what so that gives you an idea of the scope of the fire there. So I'll try to get up a overview of this. Let me get one more thing for you guys here, so you can get the dimensions of this place that we visited today. And I hope that you'll hear watch the video today's. Let's see. Bear with me a minute. Where is that? Yeah. Okay, so here's where we were today. I don't want to accidentally close something out here. I've been known to do that. Okay. All right, what you're looking at here is the area where we went today, the Coffee Park neighborhood. And this is about would you say it's about half of the viewable. You know, you can't take in the whole frame of it, but
500 houses.
Yeah, this was 500 houses, and this was a reasonably priced middle for aspiring younger people that could get a toehold on the housing market. But you can see the devastation in that area. There's just not a lot to the construction of these homes anymore. And I mean, Linda Francine and I have talked about that a little bit. Yeah, the Ann Flowers say chaos on way to Willits. Can't imagine scope down there. Willits is bad. Yeah, Luke, check out my videos because I have on the ground of all of these places. So let me see if I got we can grab another one too here.
Hello, Deb.
But what I was saying, hi, Deb. It was gratifying to people that have said thank you for sharing the video, because I could actually see that my house was still standing. And yeah, it's you know, and all this unfolded within the scope of about an hour early on Sunday morning. Yeah, that's not a. Just trying to share a few more things. Just give you a better idea. Okay, here's a good. There's the one you had, Jen. The before and after.
The before and after, and that'll show you.
Okay, so this is the before and after here. And I'll share this with you guys. Okay, that's the Coffee Park neighborhood, what it looked like. And that's probably 1/4 of the section on the left of it, with this intersection right in the middle over here. And that's the before and after, to give you an idea of how a firestorm sweeps through a city. And that's a pretty devastating. Yeah, there were some people putting drones up, but the problem is if you interfere with a drone, if the fire services claim that you're interfering with them, then you're going to have massive problems. So you can see the before and after. I wasn't kidding when I go to these areas, and I tell you, it reminds me of studying history in school and areas of Hiroshima and places like that. Hi, Susie. Nice to see you, sweetie. Thank you, Gerald, and thanks for coming in tonight. So.
Hi, Teresa. And then we got Kevin. Hi, Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin. Nice to see you. Yeah,
and Toro.
I think it was better I didn't have a drone, because I got some of the rare on the ground video going through some of these places. Yep, you got a man up now. There's the boss. Yeah, the fire is one subdivision away from his evacuation zone. So, Yeah, the house construction is very poor. There's really nothing left. All those things that look like, all those things that you see on the news that they talk about, the only thing standing is the chimneys and everything else. The reality is, when you get in there and you inspect these places, they're 3/4 inch OSB with some construction adhesive that slaps on some plasticized rocks and stuff on the side of them. It's like a joke. The construction is like a joke. Get that window back. There we go. So nice to see you, Teresa. Yeah, all those people lost their homes. So things are, it's, you know, nobody's, like I said in the video today, nobody's thinking about Halloween right now. I can guarantee you that most of the stores in town are still closed. The evacuation areas are a huge chunk of the city. They're not letting people into them because, as you've seen when I've gone around with the camera, they've not quenched these. There must be, what, thousands and tens of thousands of little hot spots that are still all over the place. And I'm just afraid when the wind picks up that they haven't been quenched. Those fires.
1,500 structures have been destroyed, Gerald. And the one trailer park we went to, there were 50 trailers destroyed. Then this subdivision that Rosie just showed was 500 houses.
Yeah, so you've now seen the main sweep of the fire through the north part of the city. Was came over the hill from Napa, came down into Fountain Grove, that what I call the $1 million hell, that video. And those are some really fancy homes. And I'm not kidding when I say $1 million up in those areas. And it looked like a graveyard, like a World War II memorial graveyard with like the front of an old building that, you know, it was eerie up there. It was strange. And then that fire came down over the ridge, overswept Fountain Grove, and went roaring down the hill, took out the Hilton Hotel, took out the Fountain Grove Hotel, leaped across Mendocino Avenue, took out the Journey's End Mobile Home Park, then leaped across Highway 101, still moving roaring westward, took out a lot of businesses that we, if you saw the video of mine on Monday morning, there were thrift shop, truck was ablaze, the Puerto Vallarta Mexican restaurant had been going down in flames. Our gun shop had been destroyed.
Yeah,
and then the fire proceeded to continue and then took out the Coffee Park neighborhood, a huge swath of it. Thank you, Lucky. Yeah, we have our stuff all set, Lucky. Thank you. We got all of our, and good to see you, by the way, Lucky. We've got all of our stuff all packed. Once again, I've removed my prized vintage pieces and put them out there. We have our firearms, our ammunition. Hey, what do we got, Brandon? No, I think the Forest Service allows deforestation up here. You know, I don't think you can blame anybody. Blame the weather, blame the climate if you want. You can forget about it, boss. You'll have no chance. Boss is, I will fight before flight. You'll die of asphyxiation.
He's got a hose in there.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter when that wall of flames is coming towards him. The heat and the gases.
1,100 degrees.
The gases from the tiles, the building materials, the sofas, the mattresses. You're going to be so overcome by fumes, they'll find a few bones on the ground. Yeah, that's it. That's it, Linda. Here's a little perspective of a granddaddy. Mile-wide tornado came through and killed 25. Wouldn't kill 25. Fire is worse than tornado. Thank you, RV Debs, and thank you for another person that's given us all kinds of kind thoughts. Linda Francine, Kevin Chambers, Gerald. We can't even we're not even going to attempt to individually answer each of you except to say Missy Jen was in tears the other day yesterday with the amounts of, thank you, Unencumbered Mama says the videos are haunting. Yeah, they're meant to convey that feeling on the ground as best we can of what Jen and I feel, because when we go to those sites, time slows down, doesn't it? You're forced to really, your mind can't absorb all of everything that you're taking in that panorama. So you just sit there slowly turning. So I wanted the camera to do that. And after my first one, when I announced that I was going to go up to Fountain Grove, then I made sure to go slowly, because there's a lot of people that are unable to get up those hills and those mountains to see if their homes. And I only went to about 10% of the area affected up on the mountain, because frankly, my wheels are giving out. I ain't no spring chicken. So, but did you see Missy Jen on CNN? She was on CNN News. They got a flash of her on.
Yeah, CNN.
When I went up the hill, Missy Jen was waiting below, and CNN.
CNN got me on camera.
Thank you, Jinx.
I didn't know who they were. I just sat there with my wheelchair, and all of a sudden I looked up, and the camera was pointed at me, and they were taking video of me, and so I just did my thing, and I knew CNN had been there, and I didn't know it was CNN, but apparently somebody saw me tonight on CNN.
There's Brandon's.
Missy
Jen kind of agrees with you. She's like, of all the networks I had to be on, this is.
I was the first real thing on CNN, baby. So I can't wait to see that.
Yeah. So
for once in a lifetime, real news.
So I do have, for the conspiracy theorists, that, gee, I don't see any selfies. I don't see anybody, and there's been no shelter videos. Well, you're going to see some shelter video tomorrow.
We did go to a shelter today to just kind of see what help can be offered, and they are actually turning away any kind of help because they're overwhelmed with people.
And if you don't mind, take a minute to hit the thumbs up. It would really be appreciated. Those of you who are watching tonight, we've had our usual core of haters out there that know nothing in their life except
FEMA has been here since
Monday
afternoon, and the Red Cross has been here first, and they've been doing a fantastic job. And then FEMA has kicked in.
Thank you guys for
in support as well, starting yesterday.
No, Robert, Brandon, I've had no chance to see any Vegas coverage, unfortunately. I'm on and said, what is your plan for tonight? We're going to be listening to the radio all night, and if they call for evacuation of our area, we're moving out to the local high school here, which is a ultra-modern, well-built structure that fire will not be able to get to that place. So no, I just haven't, Brandon, it's just this is taking over the life of all of Northern California.
Our livelihoods are at stake for several days now, since Sunday night, and our life has been revolving around
Hi, Jerry.
Sirens day and night, and fire and smoke.
The weirdest phenomena I have is I constantly ask Missy Jen, do you hear a siren? I hear sirens in my head day, night, day. Every minute or so, I swear I hear a siren in my head.
We hear them all the time. Yesterday there were 7 fire trucks came by here, one after another. 7.
Well, Jinx, the problem is, and that's so sweet of you, honey. you know, we've had offers. Debbie Lynn has offered y'all can come to
can't
South
just
Carolina.
go away.
You know, if we just leave now and we're obviously gone, then we're kind of a target for opportunists here on the Rancho. But if we leave when everybody else is leaving, then it's okay, because then we'll have a heavy police presence around here, and I'm not particularly worried. I'm not in the most savory neighborhood. Okay, I'm not in a rich neighborhood, but our house is still standing here, okay? And it stood here proudly since 1956. So I expect it to stand here a lot longer, but we're going to monitor. And if I'm not going to be a hero, you know, we've got our plan all ready to go. We've got our stuff all packed up. We've sorted all of our valuables. And if I have to close the door, yes, I'll be glad to. I'll be unhappy to lose some of my stuff, but I'm heavily insured. I doubled the insurance actually on the place because of the property value. You know, we had that discussion of how I was shockingly underinsured because the place had gone up so much. So now I'm comfortable. Missy Jen and I aren't real acquirers. We don't have a lot of uber valuable, you know, we don't have, you know, I wish I could take the good rugs and all that, but all this stuff is insured and everything. So, but that's very sweet of you to offer. And we've had a lot of offers. Well, fire's a little different though. You know, and those people could just as easily been wiped out with the storm surge, Brandon. So,
well, if the fire comes and burns the house down, you burn down with your house while you're in the house.
Yeah, you think about what people say when you watch the videos of people when they after the event, they always say, "What do you think?" Oh, if I just taken pictures and I didn't have time to get pictures and mementos, well, we got all those. We got everything that we need. Yes, it's just stuff. That's exactly right. It's at the end of the day, it's just stuff. So
yeah, we have a lot of support up here now from fire departments from all over the place, police departments from San Francisco, San Mateo, from all over the place, other places that I don't even know where they're from, but they are really all really wonderful. I've actually now heard about a police officer rescued an older gentleman out of his car before it went up in flames.
Yes, and it's weird seeing these cars just torched, you know, just down to the rims on, just fused to the asphalt. You know, the temperature. We give a shout out to Swiss camper Ronnie. Thank you very much, Ronnie, good friend of ours from France. Travels the beautiful places of the Riviera and the French Riviera in his van. Yeah, I don't know where Bobby, you know, Bobby's our first AWACS system, because if the fire comes towards us, it's going to be at Bobby's. He's going to get the first call out to leave. That he's a little bit east of where we are here. So Bobby never tell you. Bobby be overrun by the fire, and you'd hear about it a week later. Bobby just doesn't talk about anything. Yeah, yes, that's right. Yeah, we've got the stuff that have meaning. There's really no masonry block out here, Susie. You just don't see that. A lot of the big office buildings, and you know, people could stand on the in the garage of Kaiser Hospital and watch the mobile home park burn on early Monday morning in the wee hours of the morning. And hi, Joshy.
Hi, Joshy.
Thank you. That's great. A lot of people have offered. Hi, Kelly. Nice to see you. And thank you, Joshy. You guys have been so awesome, and our fuel tanks are filled up on the vehicles. We got everything ready to go. everything's pointing out of the driveway, and if we go, we go. We've got you know, we're not wealthy by any stretch of the imagination, but we're not hurting for anything. And thank you, NorCal Dave. You too. You stay safe too. And you know, I went into a shelter today. You'll probably see the first shelter video you've seen on the fire. And boy, they're just, the response has been amazing. It's just a shame that you can't attenuate that response out to months, because there's so much food, there's so much blankets and cots and just cases and cases of water. And I always wonder what's it going to be like at November 1st, you know, when those, because there's no construction people to put up these, you know, they're going to put up the million, they're going to rebuild the $1 million houses first, and then we don't have near enough people that know how to swim a hammer. Thank you, Susie. Very sweet of you.
Thank you, Susie.
Thank you, Susie. Unnecessary, but definitely appreciated. So we love you, gal. Yeah, I don't know. We were talking at dinner tonight. We went over to Burger King. Just didn't feel like cooking tonight. And I was telling Jen, who's gonna do the rebuilding of these? There's not going to be enough. All the construction crews in the county are working now on new developments and stuff like that. So Linda says, will the city even allow rebuilding of some of those neighborhoods high on the hills? Yeah,
private property. It's
they will.
Private property that is insured, and people can do with the private property what they want. So
the boss is always cheerful. Some of those mattresses you all sleep on in the shelters came from the prisons.
Well, I'm not going to sleep in that shelter.
No, I would hold your money, please. I'm going to ask anyone. I'm going to make an unusual request. I'm going to ask everybody that has a heart to donate to hold off on that a bit.
Yeah.
And wait till November 1st. Because in November 1st, all the hoopla is going to be over. All the camera crews will be gone. This place will disappear from the news, and it will, at that point in time, it'll be very hard to get the rallying cry together at that point. And that, I think, will be the time to hit the local. There'll be more organized donations. Jinx, I'm gonna have to take a nail and nail her pocketbook. Thanks. Yes. Well, Missy Jen's going to be taking it easy from here on out. And, actually, her cough is much improved. The more time she spent in the fire zone, the better her cough is.
I need to be more in a smoke and inhale more smoke. It's good for me.
Yeah. Remember the Texas hurricane, the Florida situation, but this was much more devastating than in terms of. I'm not sure what's going to happen. You look at a mobile home park, and this is for Linda Francine. You look at a mobile home park like Journey's End Mobile Home Park that had, 165 jammed in like sardines. And it was good for the elderly because it was kind of a rent controlled, and I'm no fan of rent control, but it was very affordable for them to be in a very nice area off of Mendocino Avenue, across from the hospitals, to be near Kaiser and all that. They've lost that. And hi, Sandy, nice to see you. I would hope that the city would spearhead and build senior housing on that area, much like we have a place called Silvercrest that's run by the Salvation Army here. That's a wonderful residence for elderly. You've seen it down where A Street curves over to the hospital and stuff. So yeah, the winds were up to 80 miles an hour and over the neighborhoods. That's right. That's what caused the heat to be so intense that it was a blowtorch. And the further west it went, the wider the flames moved, until by the time they got to Coffee Park, where you'll see the video today, and we can only show you a small little section because they're not allowing people in. that was about almost 10 blocks wide at that particular area.
Hi, Lynn.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen, Linda. So you have this sandwich effect that the rich will be able to take care of themselves, but don't. Hi, Lynn, and I'm sorry I haven't been able to respond, Lynn. There's just been too much going on, but we're fine. But I will tell you what, some people have, dumped on the rich people that live up in Fountain Grove. But a lot of these people are very philanthropic. They heavily support the schools. They heavily support community events. They're the first to open up their pocketbooks to host wine tastings for charity and public TV and anything that schools need.
Today we heard that the house last night burned down from the county, Sonoma County. Was it superintendent?
Oh, one of the county supervisors, her house burned down.
The county supervisor's house burned down last night.
Yeah, Lynn, you know what I'm saying.
And
I mean, there's a siren.
Here we go again.
Yeah, it's going to be all night long.
That's the ambulance.
This is what's going to create PTSD. So this kind of stuff. Yes, rich people definitely suffered. I mean, a lot of these people were just the backbones of the community, and just money's no sin to be successful. And a lot of these people are devastated. You saw me walk around some of their properties. They have nothing.
I think we need to have empathy for everybody.
Yeah.
Because just because you have money and you have a big fancy house on a hill, they lost all their personal belongings, like family pictures.
Yeah.
And they're people too.
Yeah, and I'm saying that you can't believe the charitable things that they do here for the vets, the worst aspect of this is that the city's going to be mentally changed, and we can see it, that it's going to be a very quiet fall, and it's going to be a very dour, and you can, it's everybody's left wondering what's going to become of how is the city going to be reshaped, and it's not something that's going to scar the city. If you look at the headline of the Press Democrat here, you'll just see the devastation just continues. Yeah, healing comes with time. And I think better things come out of it, Josh. I really do think. Homeless and millionaires, they all lost property in this thing. And there's some very good, very fine people that live up in that area. Yeah, Kevin, it's stressful because it's just constantly around the clock, day in, day out.
It was an ambulance that went by in a police car, and we hear ambulances and fire trucks and police cars at least 3 times every hour, and it's becoming now already really nerve-wracking, because that's what we're all pretty much hearing round clock anymore.
Okay, good luck to you, Hidden.
Okay,
thank you.
We love you, Hidden.
Yeah, we love you
too. Best wishes for your doctor's appointment tomorrow.
Absolutely. We're very cognizant of other people's situations here, and we just happen to be at the epicenter of what's arguably now going to be the worst fire event in California history, and that's really saying something. Hello, Marshall. So, that's the reality of it. Okay, Kevin said fire trucks have 2 sirens, 2 different ones. Okay.
Yeah, they make the burp, 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 burp.
Yeah, thank you, Lynn. Says I've seen some of the videos. I've been putting up a video series basically every day that I think probably gives the most thorough treatment on the ground of the 3 areas that have been most affected. well, obviously day one being out there on Monday early when there was no real police presence, so I was able to go into areas that have now been, well, until today, were closed off. So I was able to get that morning video of that. And then, but the next day to be able to go up and get the Journey's End Mobile Home Park and Fountain Grove. And then today we got the Coffee Park neighborhood. So, and they really convey a sense. They really will give you a feeling as you watch those videos of that, the scope and the feeling of the mournfulness. Yeah, it's a sad way of getting in the history books. It sure is, Kevin. It's a way that nobody would ever want to, but that just shows you how fast fortunes can change when Mother Nature. And the weird thing is there was also an earthquake while that was going on over in the Kenwood area in the western edge of eastern edge of the county. So, yeah, that's true, Brooke. So I know you guys have been seeing. I don't know quite what the national. We haven't watched a lot of news. We've been every direction I've turned. You've seen in my videos. There's reporters from every continent, ABC, CBS, NBC. Missy Jen was on CNN.
Even pretty much trying to keep up with the local radio station because they have the most specific and real facts.
Yeah, they have the most up-to-date info. Let me get something to drink real quick.
So, just really rough. So, yeah. So there are like so many fires that the fire department is like stretched out. Hi, UFO. Well, UFO, check out all the videos here on Rosie's channel here. We're having a big catastrophe going on here in California, so.
Yeah, he knows what's going on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's kept up. I've had a few comments from UFO, but we picked up a few souvenirs.
I'm just not up to that. Yeah, I know.
You smelled it every other time I've held it up there.
Yeah, but I'm.
Yeah, you can smell the fire, some spring thing, and of course the molten aluminum from the guardrail. So we got a little bit of I'd say so far we're handling the stress pretty good. This packing and yeah, you know, stuff has been stressful. Here's something funny to lighten the mood. Susie says, any jokes to lighten the mood? You know, the bosses had to start packing up also, the boss and Janet down there, because they're very close to a mandatory evacuation because of the fires down where the boss and Janet live. So boss is trying to get, Janet's trying to get all the important papers.
And let me tell you something, this thing here, when did you bring that home?
Yesterday.
Okay, Rosie brought this home yesterday. This thing still smells so intense.
It's from Fountain Grove.
Like fire that it'll make you gag when you sniff it. It's just amazing.
It's almost like a flamingo, huh? But anyway, the boss, here's funny, Susie. So the boss is, Jen is trying to get together all the important papers. And the boss was born in Germany, not in the United States. And he had to, took him quite a while to get his birth certificate and stuff like that. So now he's gone to pack up his stuff, and they can't find, Janice lost his birth certificate now. So now he's afraid that he'll be deported to, he'll be deported to Mexico.
They might deport him to Germany. He'll be in Germany and no kein sprechen Sie in Deutsch.
Yeah, it's going to be funny. So
Nein,
if we
nein.
get clear of this Friday night, we'll do a late night bikini baking just to lighten the mood and reverse all the potential PTSD.
Yeah,
That'll be a lot of fun.
I might sneak behind you
There
naked.
you go. Sneak behind naked. There you go.
Just
So
for
we'll do
just for
something.
that.
But you know, you
For
can't
stress
climb the wall.
relief.
That's it. The boss is like going to be deported. I think that'd be funny as hell. I said that would be. I told him that would be one less pain in the ass to me in America.
Yep, that's right. You've woof woof.
Wolf, wolf. That's it.
Stay tuned for that Friday bikini shoot.
I mean, I'll tell you what. I mean,
if
until you've seen it with your own eyes and look down at that puddle. One thing that I thought I had on video, there was like a fireman's axe and pick. It has like a fork thing on one end, and it has a like a 4-inch wide like axe on the other end of it, and it's made of stainless steel. It's got to be a $500 tool. And I found it on the side of the road going up the hill up to Fountain Grove, and as a fire truck was going up the hill, and they're from all over they're all over the area. You don't know if it's from, well, it could be from Rohnert Park, Salinas, Monterey, down in Carmel. They're from everywhere in here. But coming up the hill, I flashed that tool. It was about that long. And the guy waved, and he did a U-turn in his fire truck and came and picked up the tool. I have a picture of it, but I regret that I didn't. I thought the video camera was running when he, you know, you get so your adrenaline's flowing, and you push the button, but you're on photo, and you think you're on video and all that. So,
yeah. Well, boss, now you're really having a problem.
I'm not sure what temperature aluminum melts, but you put some fire behind it, and it's, you know, it's really going to go.
You have no witnesses that you were born in Germany because both of your parents are deceased. Oy vey.
That was really, really something to find that. So I didn't, you know, I didn't ever want to touch. You know, when I went, hey, Derek, how you doing? Well, what's up? Not a lot of houses here, I'll tell you that. I heard they won't, James says, I heard they won't have containment until the 1st of November. That's probably correct. Yeah, so spare a thought for James, JK NoCal. I think he's already
yeah.
evacuated.
Yeah.
Well, we just wanted a souvenir. I never wanted to touch any piece of property in anyone's yard or anything like that. You know, it's heartrending to see. You know, when you see chairs that were sit out back and little seating area around things, it's just tough. You know, it's very, you know, like I said, it's no wonder. It's no wonder I have just sirens in my head all the time. You have the smell of this. This was just like a pop-up sprinkler spring on here, something like that. But you know, and the other thing that's shocking about these people, a couple things people have said, why don't the trees burn everywhere that this fire goes? Number one, the fire's flying through there, and most of the things are exploding in its path. And number two, a lot of these trees were specifically planted to be to be more resistant to fire, and they tend to be survivors here. Yeah, I'll put this on. We'll have something, but I always wanted to have something to remember the event.
Right.
And you can see on the video where I picked up this out of that pool of metal. There's so many pieces of ground that I walked over that were so hot. When I went up to that hotel, what used to be the Hilton, and then the Fountain Grove, and the round barn, the beautiful red round barn, burned down. The ground was so warm that I was walking on. It was intense. There we go, Josh. Check your periodic chart.
Yeah.
Green trees. There's more moisture content in the trees than there are in the.
We drove by today the gun store that we bought our guns, and they had this big grizzly bear stand there, and the grizzly bear was still standing there, all charred up and black, but the bear was still there.
Well, it still could be tonight, UFO, because we're in a wind shift situation right now. We may not be here tomorrow morning, so that's why I said that's why we're doing this little thing tonight. Yeah, good to see you, Derek. That's why we're having this hangout tonight, because we're not going to get a lot of sleep tonight. Oh, turn the radio on.
Yeah, we'll have to get an update on what the situation is now. Yeah, we need lots of prayers, good wishes, good karma, whatever it is that you believe in, the positive energies, the vibes, good mantra, good karma, good whatever it is, that the rancher survives, that a lot of other people that are still having the homes will keep their homes, and that everybody that lost their home will have a fast recovery and everything.
Yeah, I think we're on that. James, you just got the radio on too.
Yeah, it's just I'm just running out of words anymore. I'm just running out of tears, running out of words. Mudflap, we are in a big fires going on in California. Santa Rosa fire, the Napa County fires. Check out the Northern California, NorCal fires. Mudflap. That will answer your questions. We are dealing with fires. There is just no rest, and there's no rest, and there's no sleep. There's nothing. It's just Keep on going, keep on going, keep on going. Smelling that smoke day and night, hearing the sirens day and night. That's just the way it is.
Jinx, I'm going to send, I'm doing good, Mud Flap. I'm going to send, Jinx, I'm going to send Missy Jen up there to nail your purse shut, honey. Thank you, sweetie. Let's see, I'm going to reshare this again. We've got a lot more people on the video now. This is, I'll share this coffee park.
Yeah, Mud Flap is not
again.
aware of what's going on.
Mud Flap. Yeah,
so.
we got a situation up here in wine country. One of our most storied wineries, Paradise Ridge Winery. It was the winery in Sonoma County that has the greatest view from up there, and that got destroyed by the fire. I'm sharing that now. This is the area we went into today. It's called the Coffee Park neighborhood. It's at the the western end of the county. This is a before and after picture here, and you can see this was an area where, well, predominantly younger people in their 30s and 40s that could kind of afford to buy start their housing dream in this area. It was one of the more affordable areas of the city, Coffee Park, and you can see, unfortunately, that came through from the east to the west like a blowtorch on that wee hours of Monday morning, and just leveled that because the winds were so great. And the other thing is the tax base of the city is definitely going to be affected by, you take out Fountain Grove and those $1 million homes and the taxes that those people paid up there, hundreds and hundreds of those homes, where they're not going to be paying those. They're not going to be paying those. The taxable base has been pretty much wiped out up in that area. So just bear with me a second. Yeah, just all these people are very familiar, but it just looks like truly does look like a war zone. Let's see if I can get anything of this journey's end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah, this is the okay, here we go here. There's the that's looking down at the Journey's End mobile home park there, which is the place that Jen and I went into yesterday. Luke said, do you know if the government will help everyone rebuild their homes if they did not have fire insurance? I think they'll try to make a low income. I think the state of California, High Test, will try to make something available.
The federal government actually announced something.
Yeah, there'll be some programs for that. Now, some people asked a good question, Tess, and nice to see you, Tess. I hope you're doing well. Will they rebuild? A lot of this has to do with, of course, insurance. And like in a mobile home park, I'm pretty sure that mobile home park requires you to have some basic level of insurance as a condition of being able to stay in that park. I think, of course, the wealthy up on the hills with their $1 million homes, I think that they were all insured very well, and anybody with a mortgage is going to have mortgage insurance to protect the financial lender in the event of catastrophes. Okay, that's good. James says, my mom, my aunt, and uncle were all evacuated. No homes left. Actually, James is a little more under the JK NoCal is a little more under the gun than we are. I think a lot of people will rebuild. The big problem they're going to have here is they're going to have a shortage of labor. There's not any construction company now is already working full out on existing construction. So they'll have to bring in a lot of outside crews. I hate to say it, but this is one of the areas where, you know, the Mexican labor could have come in very handy in these type of in this environment. They may petition to issue some temporary work visas for some of those, because there's some very experienced construction people that could do some work. UFO had a question for you.
I just think this is all a Mother Nature, because it all played all just together. The wind, and California has no rain for months. From April to December, we have no rain here.
You know, the problem here is, Tess, and I guess it's a good problem to have if you're going to have, is this is a bedroom community to San Francisco, and a lot of people commute down. So it almost matters, you know, if the whole place burned to the ground, there'll still be somebody in there to want to rebuild, and housing will probably be in short supply, and it'll be even more expensive.
Hi, Mark.
The housing stock here. Thank you, Mark. You're so
Thank
sweet.
You so much.
Appreciate it. Yeah, 50-mile-an-hour lines and power lines don't mix. That's one of the theories I've heard, is that PG&E's power lines, one of them snapped in the wind. This is what I had to be careful the first day when I went in, that there were still active power lines. Steve Rogers said, do you know if Mel's Fish and Chips building is okay? They're a must-win in the area. We ate at Mel's, Steve. We enjoyed it. Not as much as Betty's Fish and Chips, but it was good. I'm visualizing the location in my mind, and I think that they made it through just fine over there. I think they're just fine over that Bluebell, over in the industrial Bluebell, near the Pepsi distributing plant and all that.
Yeah, that's all.
What do all these people do? No homes?
That's
Where do they
okay,
live?
yeah.
And how do they maintain their jobs? See, I don't know. This is, for the interim, they're housed in the Santa Rosa Veterans Memorial Hall, where we went to the flea market. If you saw the big wedding that we had videoed inside of that celebration.
Yeah,
all
James,
the high schools. James, yeah, the
that
big
is
round
something
barn.
that breaks my heart, because I did 3 years ago. It was that old little piggery there.
Yeah, we're talking about Fountain Grove.
Yeah, that piggery.
Yeah, tell them. Yeah, but you got to tell them what it's part of. You just don't say.
There was this piggery barn building, and then the old winery, and then the round barn, and we did metal detect at the piggery one day, and then I decided to go on my own one day and metal detect at the round barn, and I made a video about going metal detecting there, and it was really, really, for me, special, because it's a historical landmark, and now it's like, it's gone, and the only thing that's left is the benches. The seating area is still there, and I remember laying all my stuff out on those benches, the pull tabs and all the nails and everything, all the crap that I found, and getting that on video. And the little pedestal thing with the inscription that explains about when they remodeled the barn and everything, that is still there. But the barn itself is completely gone, and it's just heartbreaking to see.
Yeah, that's one of the real symbols of Santa Rosa, because Fountain Grove was an area that was really one of the very first.
Joe.
Hi, Stellar. We got Joe in the house, and I want to say a special thank you to you, Joe, who's reached out to me in a personal message. I've been unable to respond. This is a great chance to do so. Thank you. We are in good shape, and I appreciated so much. You reaching out to us with kindness was beautiful. So thank you so much for that. It was really appreciated, and we are okay. And this round barn, this is another one across town, the Deterquin, but they're very beautifully finished inside of them, and it was a really sad piece of history that went up in flames right behind the Sheraton Hotel. And this is, if you see my video from yesterday, I actually went up the hill and walked up to that area to get up to the hotel, and the ground was as hot as could be. So it was really
yeah.
Really
the only way I could recognize it was by the little pedestal thing and the benches. They were
thought you were
still
going to say
there.
me coming down the hill yesterday. It was this little yellow dot up.
And well, you were up at the
coming down
you
the
were
charcoal.
there, and then all of a sudden you were gone, and then you were up at the Hilton up there. And I was like, where did she go? And I was like, okay, she's gonna break her neck up there.
Oh my God, Brandon said it happened so fast. My neighborhood is gone. Dover Court off Mark West Spring. God bless you, Brandon. I'm so sorry that happened. And Debbie Lynn, another special thank you to you. Debbie Lynn also reached out. I've not had a chance to respond. Debbie Lynn offered her place there to come and stay, and I thought that was very sweet of her, and we love you for that, Debbie Lynn. Tonight's our night. If we can get through the next 24 hours, I think we're home free, because tomorrow we have a pretty big wind event here. So, hi, Dave, Bloody Dog. The flamingo is still standing. Yeah. It has not moved quite in, but that's definitely in the line of fire there, Joe, coming in from the eastern end. Bennett Valley is being evacuated out that end. So yeah, the entire town of Calistoga, where they have all the mineral springs and all the mud baths and all those kind of things. So yeah, special thank you to you, Debbie Lynn. We so value your friendship. So, but that was very nice of Joe personally messaged. And we're okay, Joe. I mean, we joke a lot about things, but we're not born to the purple, but we're okay. We're doing good, and we appreciate your extraordinarily kind gesture, and all of everybody out there.
We love you too, Debbie Lynn.
Yep. So we just monitor the news here. Yeah, Debbie's great. She's wonderful. Not only is she an awesome singer, more importantly, she's a great friend. So she's a friend for life. And she's definitely on our journey map when we get out of here in January. And, I'm still hoping we'll be able to go, but I might be swinging a framing hammer in retirement on the JK NoCal construction crew out there. He's going to need some very experienced framers and other people running electric and doing all that. Yeah, I'm drinking a beer too, Derek. I'm just having a beer just to kind of chill out and calm my nerves a little bit tonight. is that a siren?
And then from there, from Sinead Road south to 4th Street and Highway 12. So that's the area we're talking about right now.
Dave said, what percentage of Santa Rosa's burned? Probably just about 5%, but it's a very critical 5% landmass because it took out the very wealthy area. It took out very needed low-income senior housing, mobile home park, and it took out an up-and-coming neighborhood for people just getting their foot in the door. Yeah, I know, Graham. Shame all this came down when you're so close to retirement. I know. I almost feel like I'm kind of bound to do what I can to try to help out. I'm afraid once November and December comes, it's going to be really hard psychologically around this city. It just took out it took out the soul. Yeah, better spruce up the Shine Shack. Rentals will be missing. Susie, you can't know what caused it. I mean, we've got, nobody's up in those hills. If it was a power line that came down and sparked on the ground, you occasionally do have an idiot that sets a purposeful fire. They've had a few of them, but there's a lot of active fires around us. There's tons of active fires. Let's see if I can get this fire map.
Yeah, they got fire investigators all over the map investigating. And
yeah, they have CAL FIRE investigators. We've seen a lot of people in black SUVs running around with government
we've seen
tags.
Yeah, we've seen government.
Smoke dark glass vehicles running around.
Unmarked government vehicles driving around town here too. So, but I think that should be our least worry right now.
Yeah, and they're not the highest priority is trying to make sure that this fire doesn't get back into the city again, because that's the biggest fear. Is that if it gets into a neighborhood like here on the Rancho, then it's in our neighborhood, it's like game over. We're so tightly packed in this place. There's no hope in an urban area of.
Yeah, we had like last night. Fire alarm going off across the street in this huge complex. There are, I don't know how many 100 people living in there, packed in there like rats.
Yeah, hi Greg. I'm just trying to put this thing on share real quick.
We're just constantly on edge. Every time you hear a car alarm going off, a fire alarm.
Yeah, there's the just to give you an idea, guys, of the active fire areas.
What's going up
under control, and then you can see all the red area. This is our.
Too. It's going into Oregon now too.
Yeah, it's all up in the northern part. So you're stretching fire resources very thin here. You can see. Greg, we're okay. I mean, we're all packed and ready to go if need be. Trust me, we're not going to be. We're not here to be heroes on this thing. So we have an escape route. We have a place to go that is very close, and there's nowhere. Yeah, it's like James said. Hotels are full. James has had to evacuate. JK NoCal. He's up county from us. So we're best right here, right now. And if we need to. There's a high school that's very close to here. It's very ultra modern, and it's situated away from, areas where fire could reach it and things. So, and I'm not going to leave the Rancho when I'm not going to leave the rancho and be a sitting duck for opportunists that are looking for people to panic out of the area. And I'm not going to have that happen. Yeah, we hear you, Debbie Lynn. Yeah, thank you, Greg. We've been offered housing in so many places that we're all good. We'd rather be right here. I want to keep Jen's life as even and non-interrupted as possible. So things hopefully will start gearing down, and I'll be able to get it to some other areas of the county. Up in Geyserville to the north of us, we were going to drive up today. We turned the car around because we're starting to get windy, and we worried that they might shut off Highway 101, and then we can't get back to the house, and then we're really screwed. So they've shut Highway 101. Monday there was nothing on it. You saw me on the bridge overpass shooting just 3 cars coming down side by side. Okay, thank you, JK. We're all set. We got our rig all loaded up, and we would be ready to go. Thank you.
Thank you, James.
We're good. We're just keeping an eye on that. Just keeping an eye on that weather, and we're all alerted in. There you go. How about me, Coop?
Oh, thank you, Cooper.
Coop says I want to reach through the computer and give Jen a bear hug.
That's
how about one for your?
How
about one for your intrepid cinematographer out there? I almost died climbing it.
This one is for you,
yesterday.
Cooper. Draw you to my ample bosom.
There's Rosie, the low turd on the totem pole again. That's funny. Yeah, y'all come down to Texas. See, I know Derek wants to get me working on that oil platform down there. Yeah, Rosie, you know that oil business. You get that oil stock pipe down there. Yeah, chain them up, girl. Swing them in, thread them up. Ooh. I'm gonna be on the JK NoCal construction crew. We're gonna have work coming out of our ears.
Swing that hammer.
Swinging that framing hammer. We're gonna be good to go. Be pulling that wiring. There you go. There we go.
There we go, Mark. Another one. Oh,
that's what Rosie would try to get a handful.
We're going to draw Mark ample bosoms.
Yeah, Rob said you need to release the stress. Do a bikini baking hangout tonight. I'm gonna save that for Friday night. That's gonna be my stress reliever.
We need to get out.
We need to get out of the next 24 hours, and then we can breathe easy.
We need to stay awake for the next 48 hours.
We're not rushing out of here to try to dump baked goods off to a shelter. These people are overwhelmed. You'll see the video tomorrow. That's it. Tess said, have a beer for me, Rosie, to calm my nerves. I love you, Tess. Tess cooks for you. What a great channel. But yeah, that'll be my stress reliever. We're not going to run over and just, the real time they need help is come November, December, when everybody's interest is flagged off, and that's when the help will really be needed at that point. So I saw so much food, it's going to spoil.
If everything calms down, and we know that we are going to be safe here on the rancho, there is a older gentleman here in Santa Rosa that is collecting horse feed, dog food, and cat food, because there are several farms, ranches that had to evacuate, and they have a lot of horses, dogs, pets that are needing food, and people can just drop off food at this location that he has, and then he will distribute that feed for the horses, for the dogs and the cats. And it is like all these shelters are all so well prepared by Red Cross and FEMA and everything. They're all well taken care of with food and everything that they need. That after doing now research, I find that is something that the animals need something too. The horses need help. The dogs need help. The cats need help with food. And I thought this older gentleman is doing something really nice. So if in the next 24 hours, 36 hours, we're safe here, I would like to go out and buy bulk dog
Yeah,
food.
we'll hit a
And we'll get some
we'll
cat
hit a
food.
feed store and we'll pick up a couple 100 pounds of horse feed and animal feed, and we'll, God knows
No,
we used enough of it to
drop
make
that
whiskey.
off,
We'll
and
drop that off and continue to do something like that, because that's
Right.
important to Jen. I'm going to share this. I'm putting up now a map of Santa Rosa here, just to show you. That's good. Free to people. That's good. JK said my wife's going to do plans for free to people that need help with
Well,
the
that's
permit
good
process.
too, yeah.
That's good. This is the evacuation map of our area here, and these are the areas that have been under evacuation here. And I don't know. I guess my pointer. I don't know if my pointer visibly shows up on the other side. I'm not sure, but I wish I was a little better at doing this, but get this one back on. But this shows you we're actually down in kind of the lower left-hand corner down here. You can see Highway 12 goes from east to west, and Highway 101 goes from north to south, and we're almost where the two meet. And we're still in an area that we just have to be on our toes because of the wind shift in here. So just so you get an idea of what areas are under mandatory evacuation and where our position is relative. So we have to be careful that these fires, what we're concerned is when the wind comes again from the northeast, or actually the northwest and up in the north and the northeast, that it doesn't merge these fires together into one big mega fire here. That's our big issue, and something that is my greatest concern. And this danger should be over, hopefully, in the next 24 hours. We're going to have 40-mile-an-hour winds tomorrow, and that's going to try to whip up anything that's lit on the ground. Because if you've seen my videos, there's a lot of things still burning and smoking all over the place. There we go. Cooks it. That's it. Flame retardant. I was in such, the adrenaline's pumping. I didn't wear a mask or anything going around to all these places and stuff. So, yeah, the death toll is definitely going to climb. We're 25 last year. There's no chance with 100 Santa Rosas.
Thank you, Lynn. Have a good night.
Love you. Take care,
Love
Lynn.
you.
There's no chance with last I heard 100 people are missing. And if it's still 100 tomorrow and 100 the next day, well, underneath of those mobile home park and coffee park and those places that they'll be getting the char out of there. Appreciate that. I think we probably covered everything tonight. I hope to have the regular Saturday hangout on Saturday night. And I want to thank you guys for coming to the impromptu hangout. If you haven't done so, we would appreciate thumbs up so that we know you're behind us here.
Yeah.
And
Bye, Vicky.
tonight's going to be a stressful night for us, and we love you guys. Thank you for all of your care, support, hundreds of messages that have come in. People are watching the videos. Please watch the series if you haven't seen it, starting on Monday when I went out in the had the shock of my life when I went to work Monday morning, and then took the ride around Monday, and then every day we've progressively gone around to these different areas. Thank you, Vicky. We love you too, and Coop and Rob and James. Thank you, honey, for the super chat donation.
Everybody, hey,
all right, Andrew, love you too. And you know, you've had a lot of stuff going on. I know there's a lot of firefighters down from Canada. God love them, because they're coming into places like Oregon, so Oregon can free up their firefighters for NorCal. So you too, James. You
be safe, James. You and
Harmony. You make sure that you guys are very safe. We love you. Okay, thank you all. Have a good night.
Love y'all.